But the best way out of it, something has to happen positive early in the game.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Chiefs, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their veteran QB, the former Delaware Blue Hen, Joe Flacco.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that, and they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line, how do they get a win?
The linebacker Anthony Hitchens there on the stop. And let's look quickly here at the Denver offense.
A second-year receiver at SMU, Cortland Sutton, had a pretty nice rookie season, averaging nearly 17 yards per catch, but there's still plenty more for him to work on. Not only should he be able to be a big-time red zone threat, they want to be a little more elusive in the open field.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now the Notre Dame man. This is Theo Riddick. He finds an opening past the 40. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
Let's go.
Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get your normal ballet. But at the same time, that was well executed. One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
To throw again on 2nd down. Flacco. The Sanders has got it complete. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 29-yard line. First and 10, and Flacco looking to throw. Sutton reeling it in on the left side. 12 more yards there and another first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Here we go, D. It's just me and you.
And again, it's Flacco to throw. Left side here, that's the tight end Fant. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 11 yards there, first down. They'll run with Lindsey. And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Phillip Lindsay, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. With these Thursday night games, sometimes you get those quick turnarounds. You wonder how a team's going to start. They started really well.
Everyone's always wondering, going into a Thursday night game, who has their legs, who has the overall health of a team. But mentally, if you get that early edge, the other team might think to itself, it's been a short week. We're not really ready to go. You might run them into the ground that way. That's why getting that early score means a lot.
So here are the Chiefs now under their veteran head coach, Andy Reid. As we get a peek at the former Red Raider and 10th pick in the 2017 draft, Patrick Mahomes.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there was also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
He was brought down there by Will Parks. And quickly now, a look at the Kansas City offense.
In 2018, the Chiefs were looking for help in their offensive line, and they received it from guard Andrew Wiley. A formerly undrafted free agent, he settled in as a mainstay at guard and mauled people on the offensive line. They expect big things out of him in 2019 and beyond.
On second down, it's McCoy. He'll have a first down past the 40, pushing his way inside the 40. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. LaShawn McCoy, his 6th touchdown of the season, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think they won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
Right? They saw the blitz coming. That got to him a little bit, but they leveraged it perfectly and found not just a crease, a gigantic hole. And off he goes, and he's still going all the way to the end zone.
Point after, right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive.
A pass for Sutton is intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. I don't know who all is to blame there, but I love seeing pick sixes.
Nothing like seeing someone pluck it out of the air and go the other way and see people try to change directions. Hard to do.
Butker on for the PAT. It's up and good, and it's 14-7 now here in the first quarter. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does.
And now look at him go. 30, past the 20. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Royce Freeman, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. And out come the Chiefs now. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match than a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
An opening there on that first down run as he gets this forward for about 8 or 9. That looks to be 8 officially, so 2nd and 2. On second down now, it's McCoy. And brought down but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 11 yards there, first down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's third down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Throwing is Mahomes on third. It's hauled in by Ellington. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 39. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Caught, Kelsey, left side. The numbers for Travis Kelsey last week. 7 catches, 85 yards.
And I get the feeling that he loves this matchup. I mean, the unit he's going against is in the bottom half of the league against the pass. He had to have circled this one on the schedule and said to himself, this should be a big game.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Looking to throw is Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. And again, it's Mahomes. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Barreling in for the sack, Shelby Harris.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both of these offenses having their way so far. So maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game. Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sack, finally a first step in the right direction for a stop. On the move to his left. And it's complete to Kelsey. A defensive breakdown allows a pickup of 16 on 4th down. Kelsey, such a valuable part of this offense. Made the Pro Bowl the last 4 seasons. 2018 being the most productive when he went over 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, and a great relationship between he and Pat Mahomes off the field. Very good friends, attended a bunch of high-profile sporting events together in the offseason, and that chemistry, it certainly shows on the field. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
The tackle made that time by Bryce Callahan.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
They'll try and run for it with McCoy. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
The running game's played a huge part in getting him down to this point on the field. I say stay with it. Keep pounding the football. Keep driving. Keep grinding.
Yeah, even down in the red zone, keep going for it.
No doubt about it. Dance with what brung you.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to take it into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Darwin Thompson with his first career NFL touchdown as his guys are able to regain the lead. Now, let's not forget that was all set up by the fourth down conversion earlier in the drive.
Would have been a complete letdown if the drive doesn't culminate this way, wouldn't it? If you're going to go for it on fourth down, your intention is to make sure you get a touchdown out of the drive, and that's exactly what they did. Converted, and then converted a second time for 6 points.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here's Emmanuel Sanders now as he and the rest of the offense march back onto the field. You would have to think they're going to make it more of a priority to get him the football. You're losing here in the second quarter, and he's been really quiet.
I think all we have to do, and it's too bad we can't actually see the actual play sheet now from the coordinator, because he's looking down at that and saying, okay, do I put him in different spots? Do I try and isolate him? What routes do I run? You're exactly right. They've got to get the ball in his hands and get their offense kick-started.
He does have the 2 catches, but pretty quiet so far. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Now a pass hauled in downfield. Emmanuel Sanders. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Emmanuel Sanders, his first touchdown on the year, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Here we go.
We focus our attention now on the Broncos defense. And as we're going to see right here, they have been laying some pretty electrifying hits in this one.
And these are for real, okay? As you watch, think about putting yourself in that spot, about being the ball carrier or the receiver.
I don't want to.
And then taking that shot. Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises.
A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kareem Jackson.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Flacco looks to throw. That's caught over the middle by Fant. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Check, lucky.
He'll find Sutton on the right side, complete. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Coming up at the half, a reminder we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. This is the tight end Fant. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up 4th down. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And with that, they will move out in front by 3. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown one interception. He wants to balance that off with at least one touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
A very solid gain of 27. Well, we haven't been shortchanged on offense. Another fun play to watch there on the deep pass.
This game has the feel of, a turkey bowl, a Thanksgiving day. You know, when we get together this year, when the Davises and the Gaudens get together, that's what our playbook's going to look like they're drawing them up in the dirt, and so far it's working for both of them.
10th carry now for McCoy. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. On third down, here's McCoy. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
Dancing to his left. There's the first NFL catch for the former Georgia Bulldog, Mecole Hardman. Wow, first and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well. So it's first and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. From the gun, it's Mahomes. This is caught. Watkins. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Sammy Watkins in the final seconds of the first half. And the Chiefs are going to jump back in front. Extra point splits the uprights. So they're able to capture the lead here just before halftime.
And not only that, they get the ball to start the second half.
That's right.
This is almost like basketball down the stretch, right, where you get the 2-for-1 situation where you try and get 2 shots to your opponent's 1. In this situation, they got the touchdown. They'll get another shot at to start the second half.
Could be a big turnaround. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards. They'll go again to McCoy. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. KC last year on 4th down, 12 of 15, third best in the league, and they're going again. And they'll run it with McCoy. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th. 4th down conversions this drive now 3 for 3.
I'd love to get a look at his play chart right now because he obviously has confidence in everything he has written down in terms of short yardage and going for it on 4th down.
Now the Mahomes throw complete to his tight end, Kelsey. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Mahomes now to throw. Finding Hardman here over the middle. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes has some fond memories of playing here in Denver. In fact, one of his earliest NFL memories came here in the Mile High City. That was back in the final week of the 2017 season while Alex Smith was resting up for the playoffs. And we got a glimpse of what the young Mahomes could do. He threw for 284 yards in a 27-24 Chiefs victory. That, of course, was the first start of the career for Patrick Mahomes. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. First down on a pickup of 11. They remain perfect in this game on 4th down conversion, CD. They're 4 of 4.
And, Brandon, it looks like they're taking a lot of chances here, but these are calculated gambles. They feel like they had something planned, something set based on what they've seen on tape that they can go ahead and exploit.
Same exact result as last play, a pickup of 11.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Throwing on first down is Mahomes. And Arlington has it, middle of the field. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Chief linemen might have moved. Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Now here's Mahomes. It's complete to Robinson. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. He's got it complete to Thompson. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd down. Here's Mahomes to throw. But he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this 2nd half. Instead, it's 3rd down. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. They'll go with McCoy. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. Tackled by Bradley Chubb, the number 5 pick in the 2018 draft. And defensively, they were ready for that, a full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop him short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator.
Well, he's into the clear. He's at the 50. He's at the 30, 20. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Noah Fant with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Broncos have once again taken the lead. Well, they were back in the shadows of their own goalpost, and that flipped quickly.
So much for playing it safe. I mean, a conservative, easy call, run the football, take care of it, create some space, punt the ball away, but no, let's throw it. And sometimes a defense's aggressiveness is used against them because when you've got people backed up, your natural inclination is to try and really force them back, and sometimes they get burned that way.
And they got burned there. Out comes Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. He's hoping to channel his first half play. They had the lead at halftime, was playing well. Flip the script here in the 3rd quarter a little bit.
I think he misses the Pee-wee days, you know, when you just got the orange slice at halftime, right? And remember, there weren't any real adjustments then, right? You weren't looking at some tape, right? You weren't looking at...
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The sack there by Bradley Chubb. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8. The yardage numbers for him just keep piling up for his career. He's now toppled, Charles, the 11,000-yard mark.
And just think about that. For most NFL running backs in their career, it feels like if they get to 1,000 yards, they've had a nice little run. He's over 11,000 yards, probably beyond his wildest dreams. They dialed up the blitz on 3rd down, and your worry as a defense that they can hit you with a big play in that situation. Instead, the blitz pays off, able to rally to the football and make the play.
Mahomes going to throw, being chased out left. He may try and run for this. The Chiefs tried it, but they're turned away on 4th down. And the Broncos are going to get the football back in great field position. Well, they've got the slim deficit, decided to go for it, hoping to keep the football score and erase that deficit. But, boy, deep in their own territory like that.
Let's just say that with that call, me and the head coach will agree to disagree. All right? But he knew.
Oh, no, he lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. On 2nd down, a run with Lindsey. 8 yards here, so that gets them back within striking distance. And now it's 3rd down. They got to get to the 23 here on 3rd. Flacco from the gun. He's got his tight end Fant. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Denver has the 1st down, to play going for 15 yards. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. He will push his way down to about the 14. Kendall Fuller in on the stop. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Flacco. And this is caught by Sutton. Touchdown Broncos. 3 touchdown passes now for Joe Flacco. And the Broncos push further out in front.
Partner, remember that old film of Peyton Manning going through the route tree with his great receivers in Indianapolis? I think we're seeing the results of the same type of work here today. These guys know each other so well, they don't even have to call the play. They can just look each other and know the route that's going to be run, and usually the connection is perfect.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. They go play action. Now Mahomes out to his left. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. This drive starting off on the right foot. 18 yards.
It's got to the point where we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays.
Just not right.
Now a throw for the All-Pro Kelsey is complete. The catch and run, good for 24 yards. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. And an alley to run. And he slides to avoid the hit. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down. Throwing again on second down. Mahomes, middle of the field, it's Robinson. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 16. Throwing now is Mahomes. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll make it second down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very...
And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. Complete. The tight end, Kelsey. And the tackle made at the 13. He is well short of the first. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. They'll go for it. It's Mahomes. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Blake Bell, his first touchdown on the year, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. They do tack on the extra point as well. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And this one now not quite over yet. Still 2 timeouts remaining defensively. And, boy, having that 3rd timeout would have really helped here.
Yeah, another example of why coaches really stress saving your timeouts for when you...
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Flacco on the give to Lindsey. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. They'll go again with Lindsey. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it can be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
21 yards. Well done on the return. And it's Chiefs football. 1st and 10. Patrick Mahomes in the offense. Down by a field goal. 57 seconds to go. Now they need, at minimum, 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with McCoy. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Now it appears we've got a Chief moving pretty gingerly down there. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. They'll look to throw. Forced out to his left. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd. The Chiefs on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. Mahomes to throw. He's got his man. That's Hardman. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. He's back to throw. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down. Mahomes. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on third down. Back to throw, Mahomes. And this is caught. That's Watkins. And he's got this down to the 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.